a lot of people will say...
Okay, now that's up to the individual.
I'm sorry?
That's up to the individual, how they choose to see things.
Right.
Anne Frank.
Right.
Okay, she was hunted. She was killed at an early age. She never gave up hope.
Mm-hmm.
She saw beauty in the world.
Right.
Okay, but then again, you've got your people that have been brought up whose parents are millionaires, billionaires.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't respect humanity. They don't have morality. So the upbringing has nothing to do with their case. So again, it's a coin toss.
The man who just dropped this bizarre Anne Frank reference perfectly encapsulates just how unhinged politics in this country have become.
Joe Biden. Look at Hunter Biden.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, piece of shit, dude. He's throwing his life away. He's selling himself out to the Chinese.
Yeah.
So he was brought up in the best of worlds.
Right. Well, I guess...
How do you compare Hunter Biden to Anne Frank?
You don't. You know.
But that's a question you posed to me.
No, I was just asking you. Well, the reason why I asked you that was because you said, how do I like being a police officer? And I said, because of social media and everything around it. And then you said humanity. And I'm saying, well, it's not...
Completely different story. You were wired to be a cop. You wanted to help people.
Yes and no.
And after going off on Hunter and Joe Biden, it's important to note that this man is an elected Republican state representative from Indiana named Jim Lucas, who was stopped by officers after being accused of ditching his crashed car, telling them he was just taking a walk and not driving at all.
Hi! Step over here. I recognize you. What's your name?
Jim Lucas.
Jim Lucas. Where are you coming from?
Just walking.
You weren't driving a van?
No van.
All right. I mean, you've been drinking, so that's why I'm asking you, because we got somebody that's apparently driving around with no tires on a van, and then we got you stumbling around out here.
I have no van.
Okay.
I have, just FYI, knife in my back pocket.
Okay.
If you don't mind. I appreciate you letting us know. Back pocket right here. Ooh, spider code.
That's all I have.
A man of taste.
I like it.
After handing over his firearm and knife, one has to speculate how this officer would have reacted otherwise if he didn't know this man was an elected official with at least some shared political beliefs.
Is your camera on?
Yes. It's always on, yep.
You can turn it off because I'm going to say something. Okay, you f***ed up by not checking me. I volunteered my weapon.
Yeah. Well, I didn't have to check you yet, and plus I was standing with you.
Okay.
Now...
But you... I'm not arguing.
I know.
You always
I'm just...
check something. I had a weapon.
Right.
If I were a bad guy,
right,
I had the advantage.
Yes and no.
I'm trained.
I didn't say you weren't.
No. And I'm not arguing that.
Right.
But you don't know that I'm not.
I know that. I don't.
And see, here's the thing. Okay, I am the biggest supporter of 2A rights.
Same.
Everybody has a right.
Same.
Okay, but in situations like this, you also have a right to be suspicious.
Here's what's wrong with our country's attitudes towards gun possession and the police's training tactics. Lucas criticizing the officers for not being more suspicious of him potentially having a weapon is a major factor in why so many people die or are injured by law enforcement because of this constant suspicion and paranoia of anyone potentially having a weapon.
Smell anything on him?
Oh, yeah.
I can smell it, kind of. That's why I want to get in my car.
Yeah.
So they're just going to be right down there?
Mm-hmm. Okay. My corporal's right there, so he'll let you know, too. Yep, you're good.
Indie Politics reports that Lucas was arrested and charged with OWI, eventually taking a deal and pleading guilty to the charge, as well as another misdemeanor charge for leaving the scene of an accident in exchange for a year probation, 60-day license suspension, as well as attending a drug and alcohol program. Now, you may be curious on where Lucas stands on the political spectrum. We'll look no further. In 2017, Lucas drew fierce backlash for writing in a now-deleted Facebook post that women carrying guns in Indiana are, in his words, taking steps and learning how not to be a victim of SA and R-word. Well, just a few years and many more unhinged posts later, where another Facebook post shows him posting a picture of gallows and nooses under the picture of a black man preying on the traumatizing history of lynching. And in his own defense, he pulled the classic, "I don't see color," dog whistle, while also admitting he's a massive fan of capital punishment despite previous comments railing against the Women's March in 2017. Just this year, Lucas made headlines for a Facebook post yet again, posting a doctored quote from Nazi propaganda architect Joseph Goebbels that was screenshotted by a Democrat colleague before he could delete it and replace it with a George R.R. Martin quote per Indiana Public Media. Jim Lucas is still serving as the representative for District 69 in Indiana and has said that he will not resign from his seat following his OWI arrest. So, there's that.